Principles of Inheritance and Variations, Part 1. In this video, we will be looking at Mendel's first laws of inheritance. What is inheritance, variation, and heredity? We come across these terms very often. Now, let us try to distinguish these terms and let us try to understand what these terms really mean. Inheritance is a process by which characters are passed on from parents to progeny. Variation is the degree by which a progeny differs from their parents. Heredity is a branch of biology that deals with study of both inheritance and variation of characters from parents to offspring. Mendel's law of inheritance. Gregor Johann Mendel conducted a series of indigenous experiments on the pea plants in his monastery garden for 7 painstaking years. During his investigations for the first time, statistical analysis and mathematical logic was applied to solve the problems in biology. His experiments had a large sampling size that paved way for credibility of his work and the confirmation of the inferences from the experiments or successive generations of his test plans proved that his results pointed to general rules of inheritance rather than being unsubstantiated ideas. Mendel chose pea plants, otherwise called Pisum sativum, for the following reasons. It was naturally a self fertilizing plant, and so it was easy to raise pure breeding individuals. It had a short lifespan as it is an annual, and so it was possible to follow sexual generations. It was also easy to cross pollinate the pea plants. It had well defined contrasting characters, and all the flowers were bisexual. Now, the 7 pairs of contrasting characters studied by him were stem height, if you take, it was tall and dwarf variety. Flower color were either violet or white. Flower position was either axial or terminal. Pod shape was either inflated or constricted. Pod color was either green or yellow. Seed shape was either round or wrinkled. And seed color was either yellow or green. So here you can see in the slide the different pairs of 7 pairs of contrasting characters, and all the plants showed either they were tall or either they were dwarf, either they had axial flowers or terminal flowers, and none of the characters showed intermediate features like a plant that was shorter than a tall plant and taller than a dwarf plant. All these kind of characters never appeared, and so Mendel was lucky enough to get true characteristics or true characters in his experiments. Mendel's work. So he conducted hybridization experiments in true breeding plants, that is, individuals which produce the same type of offspring for any number of generation when celled. So if you took tall plants only produced the seeds produced only tall plants. The seeds from the dwarf plants produced only the dwarf plants. So these were called the pure true breeding plants or true breeding parents. He worked with 7 pairs of contrasting characters and he considered one pair of contrasting character trait at a time. He carried out his experiments to the second and third generations. He maintained a clear statistical record of his work. So if you look at the crossing technique, what he applied was, it's you know that Pisum sativum is also a self-pollinating plant. Hence, greater care was taken to ensure that the parents were emasculated to prevent self-pollination. Anthers were collected from the male parent and tested on to the female parent, followed by bagging of the stigma. Seeds were collected separately in the marked bottles. Reciprocal crosses, that is, interchanging the male and the female parents, were conducted to prove that there was no change in the ratio of the offspring, that is, sex had no influence on the inheritance. A cross which differs a cross between two parents which differs with respect to only one character is known as the monohybrid cross. And now let us look at the monohybrid cross conducted by Mendel. So Mendel selected pure breeding tall plants and pure breeding dwarf plants as parents. He crossed in the F1 generation whatever he got, and the seeds obtained he raised the F1 generation. Here all the plants were tall and he called them as the monohybrids. Self-pollinated, Mendel self-pollinated the F1 hybrids and got the plants in the F2 generation. By selfing the F2 generation offspring, Mendel obtained F3 generation, and he always found that F2 plants bred true generation after generation, whether self or cross pollinated. Of the F2 tall plants, one third bred true for tall plus, the rest two thirds produced tall is to dwarf in the ratio 3 is to 1. Thus, in F2 generation, tall homozygous were 20%, tall heterozygous were 50%, and dwarf homozygous were 25%. Now, when Mendel put forth his laws based on his experiments, structure of chromosome or role of meiosis or presence of genes were unknown. He called the genes of today as the hereditary units or the factors. He explained the results of the monohybrid cross by making certain assumptions. Like tallness and dwarfness are determined by a pair of contrasting factors. The factor for tallness is represented as capital T and for dwarfness is represented as lowercase t. When capital T or capital T lowercase t came together, the phenotype would be a tall plant, and only when lowercase t came together, the phenotype would be a dwarf plant. The two factors making up a pair of contrasting characters are called alleles or allelomorphs. One member of each pair is contributed by one parent. When two factors with alternate expression of a trait are brought together, the one that gets expressed in both homozygous condition and heterozygous condition is a dominant trait, and a trait that gets masked off is a recessive trait. The factors are always pure, and during gamete formation, the unit factors will segregate so that each gamete will get one of the two alternative factors. It means that factors for tallness, and that is capital T, and dwarfness lowercase t are separate entities, and the gametes would receive either capital T or lowercase t during gametogenesis. His monohybrid cross, Mendel proposed that in a cross of parents that are pure for contrasting traits, only one form of the trait will appear in the next generation. Offsprings that are hybrid for a trait will have only the dominant trait in the phenotype. So, based on this observation, he proposed his law of dominance, which states that when two homozygous individuals with one or more contrasting characters are crossed, the characters that appear in the F1 hybrid are dominant, and that do not appear in the F1 generation are recessive characters.